Hey guys, so with the S24 series coming out, I have a dilemma. Do I upgrade to the iPhone? Just kidding. I'm still staying with Samsung and I've decided I want to upgrade to the S24 series. But the question is, which one? Should I stay with the base model, go a little bigger with the Plus, or go flagship with the Ultra? Going into this decision, I already had a particular model in mind, but I wanted to weigh out the pros and cons to make sure I'm making the best choice. So I'm going to run through some of the thoughts I have on each of the models, and we'll see if that changes my mind. Starting with the Ultra, let's lay out the specs. Some of the highlights are the quad cameras, a 200 megapixel main, a new 5x optical telephoto, 6.8-inch OLED screen with 120Hz adaptive screen refresh rate, a 1440p resolution, Snapdragon Gen 3 processor, and 12 gigabytes of RAM. Okay, let's talk pros for the Ultra. The main reason I would get the Ultra is for the camera system. The quad camera system with 200 megapixel main, a 12 megapixel ultra wide, and two telephoto lenses at 3x and 5x optical covers everything. The 200 megapixel camera does sound crazy to me, but the bump in megapixels should up the quality of the photos just a bit. Another pro for the Ultra is the large screen. Since I've started this channel, I've had to do so much video recording, and having a bigger screen would help frame my shots better and faster. And of course, a much bigger screen is so much nicer to watch videos on. Now let's talk about the cons. The first one is a pretty big con for me, and that's the size of the phone. I still have a problem with giant size phones where I can't fully reach all parts of the phone with one hand. You know that thumb where you can't reach across or the top of the screen? I'm already having this problem with my S23 and it only has a 6.1-inch screen, and the S24 has a 6.8-inch screen. So that's a pretty big bump in screen size. And because it's such a large phone, I can easily lose my grip and drop the phone. And that's something I would never want to happen with such an expensive phone. And I'm speaking from experience on this because I've tried Samsung's A54 with a 6.4-inch screen and I had issues handling it. And this isn't user error because I have pretty big hands. And lastly, the $12.99 starting price for the Ultra is pretty steep. The price did increase by $100 from last year's. And if you wanted to max out the storage with 1 terabyte, that's almost $1,700. One included feature I have to mention is the S Pen, but it's neither a pro or a con for me because it's something I don't think I would use. I can't imagine having to pull out the S Pen when I need to write a note. Is there something I'm missing with the S Pen? Let me know. So I'm gonna skip the Plus for now and come back to it later. So let's talk about the base model now. Okay, if you've been following me, yes, I am a base Samsung model user and have been as far back as the S8. I've never had any of the Plus, Note, or Ultra models, so I may be a little biased here, but hear me out. So let's first look at the specs. On the base S24, we have 3 cameras: 50 megapixel main, 12 megapixel ultra wide, and 10 megapixel telephoto. A 6.2-inch OLED with 120Hz adaptive screen refresh rate, and a 1080p resolution screen, and 8 gigabytes of RAM. Something interesting though is that if you're not in the US or Canada, you may be getting an Exynos processor versus the Snapdragon Gen 3. Not sure why, but it seems like the Snapdragon is the preferred processor. But tests are showing that the Exynos 2400 is edging out Snapdragon. So let's talk about the pros for the S24 base. The major pro for me is the size. Like I said about the Ultra's big 6.8-inch screen being a con, the base S24's smaller 6.2-inch size is a pro for me. While I can see that having a bigger screen phone for watching videos or mobile gaming would be preferable, I still can't get over the fact that I'd have to carry around a heavier phone, have extreme pocket bulge, have a hard time reaching certain parts of the phone, and risk dropping my phone because I can't get a good grip. Still, a pro for me is the value of features for the price. At $799, even though this is a base model, it's not a low feature or a low spec phone. The base model still has the newest processor, a great camera, fingerprint sensor, facial recognition, 8K video recording, and all the other great Samsung features. So the only real con for me on the base S24 is the camera. Even though the 50 megapixel is great on the base model, you can't really beat the significant bump in megapixels on the Ultra's 200 megapixel sensor. And you're getting a new 5x optical as well. So let's talk about the S24 Plus. The specs are exactly the same as the base S24, except for the screen size being 6.7 inches and a screen resolution of 1440 and 12 gigabytes of RAM. So for me, I'm not even considering the Plus because it's just the base S24 with a bigger screen. And if I want a bigger screen, I'm going with the Ultra. If you haven't guessed, I am going with the base S24. And that's mainly because I want to keep the same form factor that's comfortable and easy to handle. While I would get better cameras and a larger screen with the Ultra, I don't think it's enough for me to justify the $500 price difference. But hold up. As I was checking out with the base S24, I suddenly stopped and thought that I should go with the Ultra instead. As comfortable as I've been with having smaller phones, I felt that I should give the Ultra a chance. But then I remembered something else that I really wanted to try for sure, and that's the Galaxy Ring. So it's the base S24 for me. So let me know why you guys have chosen your particular models. Or let me know if I'm missing anything that I should consider. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.